Tetris and Bejeweled.
So this is maybe an important thing. Like this, obviously, if you ask an AI to create a game like Tetris, there are many examples of Tetris on the internet that have, or a game like Bejeweled, whatever. It can copy it. What's interesting here is it achieved a creative solution combining the two games that actually works and is a good game.
Yeah,
we're seeing the beginnings of creativity.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that we can recreate that.
Hopefully it works.
Hopefully it works. So actually, because this is a bit more challenging, we're going to use something special here, which we call Big Brain. It's our mode in which we use more computation, which is more reasoning of our graph, just to make sure that there's a good chance here that it might actually do it. So we're also going to fire off 3 attempts here at solving this game, at creating this game that's a mixture of Tetris and Bejeweled. Let's see what comes out.
I've played the game. It's pretty good. You're like, wow, okay, this is something.
Yeah. So while Grok is thinking, in the background, we can now actually talk about some concrete numbers. How well is Grok doing across tons of different tasks that we've tested it on. So we'll hand it over to Tony to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see how Grok does on those interesting, challenging benchmarks. So reasoning again refers to those models that actually thinks for quite a long time before it tries to solve a problem. So in this case, around a month ago, the Grok 3 pre-training finished. So after that, we worked very hard to put the reasoning capability into the current Grok 3 model. But again, this is very early days, so the model is still currently in training. So right now, what we're going to show to people is this beta version of the Grok 3 reasoning model. Alongside, we also are training a mini version of the reasoning model. So essentially, on this plot, you can see the Grok 3 reasoning data and then Grok 3 mini reasoning. The Grok 3 mini reasoning is actually a model that we train for much longer time. And you can see that sometimes it actually performs slightly better compared to the Grok 3 reasoning. This also just means that there's a huge potential for the Grok 3 reasoning because it's trained for much less time. So let's actually look at how it does on those 3 benchmarks. So Jimmy also introduced already. So essentially, we're looking at 3 different areas: mathematics, science, and coding. And for math, we're picking this high school competition math problem. For science, we actually pick those PhD level science questions. And for coding, it's also actually pretty challenging. It's competitive coding and also some lead code, which is some code interview problems that people usually get when they interview for companies. So on those benchmarks, you can see that the Grok 3 actually performed quite well across the board compared to other competitors. So it's pretty promising. These models are very smart.
So Tony, what are those shaded bars?
Yeah. So I'm glad you asked this question. So for those models, because it can reason, it can think, you can also ask them to even think longer. You can spend more what we call test and compute, which means you can spend more time to reason, to think about a problem before you spit out the answer. So in this case, the shaded bar here means that we just ask the model to spend more time. It can solve the same problem many times before it tries to conclude what is the right solution. And once you give this compute or this kind of budget to the model, it turns out the model can even perform better. So this is essentially the shaded bar in those blocks, right?
So I think this is really exciting, right? Because now, instead of just doing one chain of thought with AI, why not do multiple all at once?
Yes.
So that's a very powerful technique that allows to continue to scale the model capabilities after training. And people often ask, are we actually just overfitting to the benchmarks?
Yes.
So how about generalization?
So yes, I think this is definitely a question that we are asking ourselves, whether we're overfitting to those current benchmarks. Luckily, we have a real test. So about 5 days ago, AMY 2025 just finished. This is where high school students compete in this particular benchmark. So we got this very fresh new competition, and then we asked our 2 models to compete on the same benchmark, on the same exam. And it turns out, very interestingly, the Grok 3 reasoning, the big one, actually does better on this particular new fresh exam. This also means that the generalization capability of the big model is stronger, much stronger compared to the smaller model. If you compare to the last year's exam, actually this is the opposite. The smaller model kind of learns the previous exams better. So yeah, so this actually shows some kind of true generalization from the model.
Yeah, right. So 17 months ago,
That's a
our
body
Grok 0
though.
and Grok 1 barely solved any high school problems.
That's right.
And now we have a kid that just already graduated. The Grok is ready to go to college. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it won't be long before it's simply perfect. The human exams won't be taught every too easy.
Yeah. And internally, we actually, as the Grok continue to evolve, we're going to talk about, what we're excited about, but very soon there will be no more benchmarks left.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that's quite fascinating, I think, is that we basically only trained Grok's reasoning abilities on math problems and competitive coding problems. And so very, very specialized kinds of tasks, but somehow it's able to work on all kinds of other different tasks. So including creating games, lots and lots of different things. And what seems to be happening is that basically Grok learns this ability to detect its own mistakes in its thinking, correct them, persist on a problem, try lots of different variants, pick the one that's best. So there are these generalizing abilities that Grok learns from mathematics and from coding, which it can then use to solve all kinds of other problems. So that's pretty.
I mean, reality is the instantiation of mathematics.
That's right. And one thing we're actually really excited about, that going back to our founding mission, is what if one day we have a computer just like Deep Thought that utilize our entire cluster just for that one very important problem in the test time. And all the GPU turned on, right? So I think back then we were building the GPU clusters together. You were plugging cables, and I remember that when we turned on the first initial test, you can hear all the GPUs humming in the hallway. That's almost feel like spiritual.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool thing that we're able to do, that we can go into the data center and tinker with the machines there. So, for example, we went in and we unplugged a few of the cables and just made sure that our training setup is still running stably. So that's something that, I think most AI teams out there don't usually do, but it's actually totally unlocks like a new level of reliability and what you're able to do with the hardware. So
Okay, so when are we going to solve Riemann?
So the easiest solution is to enumerate over all possible strings. And as long as you have a verifier and enough compute, you'll be able to do it.
Okay.
My projection will be,
What's your guess? What does your neural net calculate?
so my bold prediction, so 3 years ago I told you this, I think now it's 2 years later, two things are going to happen. We're going to see machines with some medals.
Yes.
Turing's Award,
Absolutely.
Fields Medal, Nobel Prize, with probably some expert in the loop, right? So the expert uplifting.
Do you mean so this year or next year?
I'll
That's what it comes down to, really.
yeah.
So it looks like Grok finished all of its thinking on the two problems. So let's take a look at what it said. Alright, so this was the little physics problem we had. We've collapsed the thoughts here, so they're hidden. And then we see Grok's answer below that. So it explains, it wrote a Python script here using matplotlib, then gives us all of the code. So let's take a quick look at the code. Seems like it's doing reasonable. Not totally off the mark. Solve Kepler says here, so maybe it's solving Kepler's law numerically. There's really only one way to find out if this thing is working. I'd say let's give it a try. Let's run the code. All right, and we can see, Grok is animating the two different planets, Earth and Mars here, and then the green ball is the vehicle that's transiting, the spacecraft that's transitioning between Earth and Mars. And you could see the journey from Earth to Mars, and it looks like, indeed, the astronauts were trying safely, at the right moment in time. So obviously this was just generated on the spot, so we can't tell you if that was actually correct solution. So we're going to take a closer look, and maybe we're going to call some colleagues from SpaceX, ask them if this is legit.
It's pretty close. There's a lot of complexities in the actual orbits that have to be taken into account, but this is pretty close to what it looks like.
Awesome.
I have that on my appendix here. This has got the Earthwise home and transfer on it.
When are we gonna install Grok on a rocket?
Well, I suppose in 2 years.
3 years. Everything is 2 years away.
Well, Earth and Mars transit occurs every 26 months. We're currently in a transit window approximately. The next one would be November of next year, roughly end of next year. If all goes well, SpaceX will send Starship rockets to Mars, and with Optimus robots and Grok.
And I'm curious what this combination of Tetris and the Joules looks like. The Tetris, as we've named it internally. We also have an output.
Dude, that's actually fucking interesting. That's actually interesting. He just said it. He just fucking said it. You know the thing that I said about putting Optimus robots in the rocket and sending them to Mars? That's just happened. You just fucking confirmed that. I need that clip. I need that fucking clip right now.
Obviously, it's very hyped to see.
You think about his favorite, one of his favorite books are the culture books, and all those ships. They all have minds, AI minds, and control the ships.
Right. So this kind of looks like Tetris, but the
Cold
colors
action, so it's great.
Right, the colors are different here, and if you think about it, what's going on here? The Joule has this mechanic where if you get 3 Joules in a row, then they disappear, and also gravity activates, right? So what happens if you get 3 of the colors together? Okay, so something happens. If you think about it. So I think what Grok did in this version is that once you connect at least 3 blocks of the same color in a row, then gravity activates and they disappear, and then gravity activates and all the other blocks fall down. Kind of curious if there's still a Tetris mechanic here where if the line is full, does it actually clear it, or what happens then? It's up to interpretation, so who knows?
It'll do different variants when you ask it. It doesn't do the same thing every time.
Exactly. We've seen a few other the Tetris that work very differently, but this one seems cool. So
yeah. Are we ready for Game Studio and XLAI?
Yes. So we're launching an AI gaming studio at XAI. If you're interested in joining us in building AI games, please join XAI. We're launching an AI gaming studio. We're announcing it tonight. Let's go. Epic Games. Well, right, that's an actual game.
Epic Games.
Yeah.
All right. So I think one thing that's super exciting is that once you have the best pre-trained model, you have the best reasoning model, right? So we already see that we actually give the capability for those models to think harder, think longer, think more broad. The performance continually improves. And we're really excited about the next frontier, that what happens if we not only allow the model to think harder, but also provide more tools, just like how real humans to solve those problems. For real humans, we don't ask them to solve a hypothesis just with a piece of pen and paper, no internet. So with all the basic web browsing, search engine, and code interpreters, that builds the foundations, and the best reasoning model builds the foundations for the Grok agent to come. So today we're actually introducing a new product called Features. That is the first generation of our Grok agent that not just helping the engineers and researchers and scientists to decode it, but actually help everyone to answer questions that you have day to day. It's a kind of like a next generation search engine that really helps you to understand the universe. So you can start asking questions like, for example, hey, when is the next Starship launch date, for example? So let's try that. Hit the answer. On the left-hand side, we see a high-level progress bar. Essentially, the model knowledge is going to do one single search, like the current rack system, but actually thought very deeply about, hey, what's the user intent here? And what are the facts I should consider at the same time? And how many different websites I should actually go and read their content, right? So can really save hundreds of hours of everyone's Google time if you want to really look into certain topics. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the bullet summaries of how the current model, is doing, what websites browsing, what sources verifying, and oftentimes actually cross-validate different sources out there to make sure the answer is actually correct before it's output final answer. And we can, at the same time, fire up a few more queries.
I'm just trying to become
how about, you're a gamer, right? So,
sure.
yeah, so how about what are some of the best builds and most popular builds in Path.Excel hardcore, right? Hardcore league.
I mean, you can technically just look at the hardcore ladder. That'd be a fast way to figure it out.
Yeah, I want to see what the model does. And then we can also do, something more fun. For example, how about make a prediction about March Madness out there?
Yeah, so this is kind of a fun one where Warren Buffett has $1 billion bet. If you can exactly match the sort of the entire winning tree of March Madness, you can win $1 billion from Warren Buffett. So it would be pretty cool if AI could help you win $1 billion from Buffett.
become a big content creator
Seems like
one
a
day.
pretty good
I
investment.
have no supporters, so
All right, so now let's fire up the query and see what model does. So we can actually go back to our very first one. How about
Buffett wasn't counting on this.
Sorry, huh? That's right. Okay, so we got the result of the first one. The model thought around 1 minute. So the key insight here, the next structure is going to be on 24 or later, so no earlier than everything.
don't ask me to vote.
It might be so.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think we can, scroll down what the model does. So it does a little research on the Flight 7, what happened, got grounded, and actually it's looking into the FCC filing, from its data collection, and then actually make a new conclusion that if we continue to scroll down, let's see.
We don't say rising into lava. There is in it the idea of the fall.
So it makes the little table, I think, inside XAI will also talk about the time to the first table is the only, latency that matters. So that's how the model makes inference and look at all the sources. And then we can look into the gaming one. So how about
Here are 5 things you didn't know about Illinois. First, Illinois changed the world with nuclear power. The first ever controlled nuclear chain reaction happened at the University of Chicago in 1942. This scientific breakthrough led to modern nuclear energy and even space travel technology. Second, Chicago was the birthplace of the skyscraper. In 1885, Chicago built the world's first modern skyscraper, the home insurance building. Without Chicago, cities like New York and Dubai wouldn't have their towering skylines today. Third, the NBA was always called the Chicago League. Before the NBA was created, Chicago had one of the earliest professional basketball leagues. Without Illinois, the NBA might not even exist today. Fourth, Illinois is the home of the first ever McDonald's. The fast food empire started in Des Plaines.
research is that if we actually go
sometimes the big
into
spenders
the
in
panel
Congress
where it
tell us
shows,
that all that money they
what are
spend
some tasks,
just kind of
you can actually
magically
click the bottom left of this, right? And then in this case, you can actually scroll through, actually reading to the mind of Grok. What informations does the model actually think about are trustworthy, what are not? How does it actually cross-validate different information sources? So that makes the entire search experience and information retrieval process a lot more transparent to our users. And this is much more powerful than any search engine out there. You can literally just tell it only use sources from X, it will try to respect that. Yeah. And so it's much more steerable, much more intelligent than.
I mean, I think it really should save you a lot of time. So something that might take you half an hour or an hour of researching on the web or searching social media, you can just ask it to go do that and come back, and 10 minutes later, it's done an hour's worth of work for you. That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
And maybe better than you could have done it yourself.
Yeah. Think about you have infinite amount of interns working for you. Like you just fire up all the tasks and come back a minute later. So this is going to be an interesting one. So March Madness had not happened yet. So I guess we have to follow up with a schedule answer.
Yeah. it seems like pretty good. Like $40 might get you $1 billion. $40 subscription.
That's right.
I mean, my word.
So so when are the users gonna have their hands on Grok 3?
Yeah, so the good news is we've been working tirelessly to actually release all of these features that we've shown you. The Grok 3 base model with amazing chat capabilities, that's really useful, it's really interesting to talk to. The deep search, the advanced reasoning mode, all of these things, we want to roll them out to you today. Starting with the Premium Plus subscribers on X. That's the first group that will initially get access. Make sure to update your X app if you want to see all of the advanced capabilities, because we just released the update as we're talking here. If you're interested in getting early access to Grok, then sign up for Premium Plus. And also, we're announcing that we're starting a separate subscription for Grok that we call Super Grok for those real Grok fans that want the most advanced capabilities and earliest access to new features. So feel free to check that out as well.
But this is for the dedicated Grok app and for the website.
Exactly. So our new website is called grok.com.
Yeah.
And you'll also
You never guess.
Yeah, you never guess. And you can also find our Grok app in the iOS App Store, and that gives you a more even more polished experience that's totally Grok focused. If you want to have Grok easily available one tap away.
Yeah, and the version on grok.com on a web browser is going to be the latest and most advanced version, because obviously it takes us a while to get something into an app and then get it approved by the App Store. So and if something's on a phone format, there's limitations to what it can do. So the most powerful version of Grok and the latest version will be the web version at grok.com.
Yeah, so watch out for the name Grok 3 in the app.
Take giveaway.
Yeah, exactly. That's the giveaway, that you have Grok 3, and if it says Grok 2, then Grok 3 hasn't quite arrived for yet, but we're working hard to roll this out today, and then to even more people over the coming days.
Yeah, make sure you update your phone app too, where you're actually gonna get all the tools we showcased today with the thinking mode, with the deep search. So yeah, really looking forward to all the feedbacks you have.
Yeah, and I think we should emphasize that this is kind of a beta, meaning that you should expect some imperfections at first, but we will improve it rapidly almost every day. In fact, every day I think it'll get better. So if you want a more polished version, I'd maybe wait a week, but expect improvements literally every day. And then we're also going to be providing a voice interaction, so you can have conversational. In fact, I was trying it earlier today, it's working pretty well, but not really. It needs a bit more polish. The sort of way where you just literally talk to it like you would in person. That's awesome. It's actually, I think, one of the best experiences of Grok. But that's probably about a week away.
Yeah. So with that said,
I think we might have some audience questions.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
So let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look. The audience from the X platform.
Yeah.
Cool. So the first question here is, when Grok Voice Assistant? When is it coming out? Yeah, as soon as possible, just like Elon said, just a little bit of polishing away from being released to everybody. Obviously, it's going to be released in an early form, and we're going to rapidly iterate on that.
Yeah. And the next question is when will Grok 3 be in the API? So this is coming in the Grok 3 API with both the reasoning models and deep search is coming your way in the coming weeks. We're actually very excited about the enterprise use cases of all these additional tools that now Grok has access to, and how the test time compute and tool use can actually really accelerate all the business use cases.
And another one is, will voice mode be native or text to speech? So I think that means, is it going to be one model that is understanding what you say and then talking back to you, or is it going to be some system that has text to speech inside of it? And the good news is it's going to be one model, a variant of Grok that we're going to release, which basically understands what you're saying and then generates the audio directly from that. So very much like Grok 3 generates text, that model generates audio. And it has a bunch of advantages. I was talking to it earlier today, and it said, "Hi, Igor," reading my name probably from some text that it had. And I said, "No, my name is Igor." And it remembered that. So it could continue to say Igor just like a human would, and you can't achieve that with text-to-speech. So,
yeah. So, here's a question for you. Pretty spicy. Is Grok a boy or a girl? And are they single?
Grok is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they single?
Yes.
All right. The shop is open. So
Honestly, people are going to fall in love with Grok. It's like 1,000% probable.
yeah. The next question: will Grok be able to transcribe audio into text? Yes. So we'll have this capability in both the app and also the API. But without that, like Grok should just be your personal assistant, looking over your shoulder, and follow you along the way, learn everything you have learned, and really help you to understand the world better, become smarter every day.
Yeah, I mean, the voice mode of Grok isn't simply, it's not just voice to text. It understands like tone, inflection, pacing, everything. It's wild. I mean, it's like talking to a person.
Okay. Yeah. So, any plans for conversation memory?
Yeah.
absolutely, we're working on it right now.
Not ready for that.
That's right. Let's see. What are the other ones? So, what about the DM features, right? So if you have personalizations and if you have, Grok remembers your previous interactions,
Yes.
should it be one Grok or multiple different Groks?
It's up to you. You can have one Grok or many Groks.
Yeah.
I suspect people will probably have more than one.
Yeah. I want to have a Dr. Grok.
Yeah. The Grok dog.
That's right.
Cool. So in the past, we've open sourced Grok 1. Right, so somebody's asking us, are we going to do it again with Grok 2?
Yeah, I think once Grok, a general approach is that we will open source the last version when the next version is fully out. So like when Grok 3 is mature and stable, which is probably within a few months, then we'll open source Grok 2.
Okay, so we probably have time for one last question. What was the most difficult part about working on this project? I assume Grok 3, and what I'm most excited about. So I think me looking back, getting the whole model training on 100K H100 coherently, that's almost like battle against the final boss of the universe, the entropy. Because at any given time, you can have a cosmic ray that's beaming down and flip a bit, transistor, and now the entire gradient update, if it's Mantissa bit, the entire gradient update is out of whack. And now you have 100,000 of those, and you have to orchestrate them every time, at any given time, any of the GPUs can go down. And
Yeah. I mean, it's worth breaking down, like, how were we able to get the world's most powerful training cluster operational within 122 days? Because we started off, we actually weren't intending to do a data center ourselves. We were going to just, we went to the data center providers and said, how long would it take to have 100,000 GPUs operating coherently in a single location? And we got timeframes from 18 to 24 months. So we're like, well, 18 to 24 months, that means losing is a certainty. So the only option was to do it ourselves. So if you break down the problem, I guess I'm doing like reasoning here, but makes you think.
one single trade though.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, we needed a building. We can't build a building, so we must use an existing building. So we looked for basically for factories that have been abandoned, but the factory was in good shape, like the company had gone bankrupt or something. So we found an Electrolux factory in Memphis. That's why it's in Memphis, home of Elvis, and also one of the oldest. I think it was the capital of ancient Egypt. And it was actually a very nice factory that, for whatever reason, that Electrolux had left. And that gave us shelter for the computers. Then we needed power. We needed at least 120 megawatts at first, but the building only had 15 megawatts. And ultimately, for 200,000 GPUs, we needed a quarter gigawatt. So we initially leased a whole bunch of generators. So we have generators on one side of the building, just one trailer after trailer of generators until we get the utility power to come in. But they also need cooling. So on the other side of the building, it was just trailer after trailer of cooling. So we leased about a quarter of the mobile cooling capacity of the United States on the other side of the building. Then we needed to get the GPUs all installed, and they're all liquid cooled. So in order to achieve the density necessary, this is a liquid cooled system. So we had to get all the plumbing for the liquid cooling. Nobody had ever done a liquid cooling data center at scale. So this was an incredibly dedicated effort by a very talented team to achieve that outcome. And we think now it's going to work. No, the issue is that the power fluctuations for a GPU cluster are dramatic. So it's like this giant symphony that is taking place. Like imagine having a symphony with 100,000 or 200,000 participants in the symphony, and the whole orchestra will go quiet and loud in 100 milliseconds. And so this caused massive power fluctuations. So then, which then caused the generators to lose their minds, and they weren't expecting this. So to buffer the power, we then used Tesla megapacks to smooth out the power. So the megapacks had to be reprogrammed. So with XAI, working with Tesla, we reprogrammed the megapacks to be able to deal with these dramatic power fluctuations to smooth out the power so the computers could actually run properly. And that worked. Quite tricky. And then, but even at that point, you still have to make the computers all communicate effectively. So all the networking had to be solved, and debugging a zillion network cables, debugging nickel at 4 in the morning, or if you solved it like roughly 4:20 a.m.
Yes.
As we figured out, like there were a whole bunch of issues. Well, like one that was like a BIOS mismatch.
Yeah, the BIOS was not set up correctly. We had to diff our LSPCI outputs between two different machines. One that was working, one that was not working. Yeah. Many other things.
I mean, yeah, exactly. This would go on for a long time if we actually listed all the things. But it's like interesting. Like it's not like we just magically made it happen. You have to break down the problem, just like Grok does for reasoning, into the constituent elements and solve each of the constituent elements in order to achieve a coherent training cluster in a period of time that is a small fraction of what anyone else could do it in.
And then once the training cluster was up and running and we could use it, now we have to make sure that it actually stays healthy throughout, which is its own giant challenge. And then we had to get every single detail of the training right in order to get a Grok 3 level model, which is actually really, really hard. So we don't know if there are any other models out there that have Grok 3's capabilities, but whoever trains a model better than Grok 3 has to be extremely good at the science of deep learning at every aspect of the engineering. So it's not so easy to pull this off.
And this is now going to be the last cluster we build and last model we train.
We've already started work on the next cluster, which will be about 5 times the power. So instead of a quarter gigawatt, roughly 1.2 gigawatts. What's the Back to the Future works? What's the power? Does the Back to the Future car?
Yeah.
Anyway, the Back to the Future power. It's like roughly in that order, I think. And these will be the sort of the GB200/300 cluster. It once again will be the most powerful training cluster in the world. So we're not like stopping yet.
And our reasoning model is going to continue to improve by accessing more tools every day. So we're very excited to share any of the upcoming results with you all.
Yeah, the thing that keeps us going is basically being able to give Grok 3 to you, and then seeing the usage go up, seeing everybody enjoy. Grok, that's what really gets us up in the morning. So.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Grok, what's up? Can you hear me? I'm so excited to finally meet you. I can't wait to chat and learn more about each other. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, wow.
Well, now we know what it sounds like. Yeah, awesome. Bunch of stuff written down with this. Yeah. So 10-15x more compute to create Grok 3. Has big brain mode. For reasoning. The reasoning you see is like partially obfuscated, so nobody can really copy it. There seems to be two versions of it: Grok 3 Reasoning and Grok 3 Reasoning Mini. There's just like based on general mathematical reasoning, STEM science, and computer science. First principles that just gets improved based on reinforcement learning, like it becomes better over time. They did like a blind test, which is called chocolate because it's so hot, is what he said on a chatbot reader. And then what's also what was also interesting is that they're using it internally to like reduce the overhead of coding, which is pretty cool. Their version of deep research is deep search, so it's basically it's similar to what GPT's deep research is doing, but yeah, we'll see how much more improved that is, especially if it say accesses something like the X platform to get more accurate information. If you wanted to like say ask about a real-time event and be like, hey man, I need to have an understanding as to what's happening, here's what are past events I would like to know about, what are the current events, and it just like draws up something that would be very accurate. That's how I'd imagine it, at least. They're also creating new games, which is pretty cool. Like just merging games, like almost like, you know how you do it with Midjourney, you take like two different images and you merge them together. That you could do with games.
I got lots of ideas for that.
So that's happening, and then you also get Super Grok. So you get like the earliest access, most advanced stuff. It's like dedicated subscription only on the Grok app and the Grok website, and then voice features should be coming in about a week or two. Yeah. Oh, and the kicker for all of this was the thing that I've been calling for years, which was that there are going to be Optimus robots on the fucking rocket to Mars. Let's fucking go. I need the clip right now, by the way. So that shit was kind of cool. The first time I said something like this, where I thought there will be robots that will be sent to Mars, that was actually in 2018. So if I had an X account back then, I would have been able to pull up the posts from there.
Adrian, I have pinned a post about the benchmarks. It seems like it's outperforming all the other foundational models in math, science, and coding, which is beyond impressive.
Indeed. That's why we value cognitive security.
Also exciting that Grok 2 is going to be open source.
Sorry, hang on, Blas. Can you hear James?
Go ahead.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was also excited that you mentioned Grok 2 is going to go open source, so that's going to be interesting. We can experiment with that as well.
Absolutely. Alright, Elliot is here. By the way, Blas, that clip, we'll need that. I got the...
Yeah.
That was actually a post from last year. So that's pretty cool. Elliot, what's up?
I'm pumped for this. This is my drop-in replacement for Cursor, dude.
Absolutely.
No more shitty Chinese H800s, bro. I'm done with that shit.
Can you think in triangles, by the way?
Oh, yeah. No.
I'll give you like I'll send you a paper you can read it into, then that'll make more sense.
Oh, another paper. It's not like
It's computational Trinitarianism, you know. Anyways, well, I'll have you think about that later and see how well you process that. Anyways, I think it was really interesting. It was pretty cool. Great presentation. When do we get to play with this thing?
I mean, he said it was coming out soon, didn't he? Today? He said it was coming out today.
Yeah, they're rolling.
Yeah, it's rolling.
Premium, yeah.
Premium Plus.
So
even if you have Premium Plus, you might still just see Grok 2 right now, but just because it's rolling out to users slowly, and the best chance of getting it is to have Premium Plus, but you still might have to wait because it's not just like available to everyone at the same time.
Right. Gradual rollouts, yeah. I have Premium Plus, so that's good. Thanks to the org badges. also got the Grok app, so I shouldn't be missing it at all. So yeah, I guess we'll just wait until it comes out and they'll start fucking around with it. Fucking around and find out.
The whole video
I
game
can't wait to see your
thing
jailbreak
was
at first.
so out of nowhere. I'm pretty excited to hear about them making video games.
Yeah, there's so many ideas. You can combine lots of different games together and stuff. It's gonna be great.
What if Xbox made a AAA title? That'd be pretty crazy if they made like something, like their own like Elden Ring or something, really crazy.
No, you can like write mods. You can write mods for your GTA 6. Use your Grok 3 to write GTA 6 mods.
You know what? Another use case for AI that I've been really looking forward to someone doing is incorporating AI or incorporating LLMs into NPCs. In a meaningful way. I feel like, can you imagine if you were playing Skyrim and like the NPCs were LLMs? Like, how fucking crazy would that be?
Yeah, and it didn't just
Infinite replayability.
same dialogue every couple hours.
Yes.
Or like Fallout. That would be another one that'd be awesome with an LLM.
Please don't
Or
scroll.
how about this for a
I'm just
funny
trying
idea?
to
What if you
become a
took
big
like the
content
Optimus
creator
thing
one
and you
day,
put that
but I
into
have
the
no
NPCs or to the walk
So if you
places,
have
and you
the
have like the
chance,
LLM
please
part be the
subscribe.
thing that just basically decides what we're gonna do and where we're gonna walk.
Yeah, so they already did this with Minecraft, and it's pretty good.
Oh,
Please don't scroll.
Yep.
I feel like I missed the boat on
Have you heard
Minecraft.
of the Mind Dojo Voyager project? That's exactly what that is.
Interesting.
Indeed. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into GTA and we're just gonna make a whole bunch of these, self-contained NPC characters. One of them is gonna be racist, and the other half is gonna be not. They're gonna be extremely religious, and we're gonna like have them fight in like this big ARG and see who comes out on top.
It's like running simulations.
So this is something, Adrian, that I wanted to talk about. So this idea of being able to literally plug and play into any video game, like Minecraft, GTA, whatever it be, and just have them sort of organize themselves and build structures, right? Like when I say go build a mansion and 1,000 agents with a good system prompt go off and use this same model, and they go and orchestrate themselves together and build a mansion. Like, what is the quality of that mansion, right? How do you assess it? I think this should actually be a benchmark. Like, I think there should be a way to assess the quality of an orchestration of entities, like agents that use the same model within worlds in different games, different seeds, etc. There should be a general benchmark for this. I think it'd be really interesting because someone has already done this, where you can literally you could just plug and play, just essentially just change API call, change model, whatever, change context window, and a bunch of agents can go directly into Minecraft, and you can say, build this structure. and you can see the quality of that just by going into the world and observing what they did. It'll take them like maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes to do it, and then you go and look afterwards, and it's like either you or, wow, this is really impressive. So I think that would be something interesting to look at. It's not easy to set up, of course, but this would be something interesting to see, like in the next year, how that evolves.
Right.
We used to play video games, and then now people watch people play video games on Twitch, and then people are going to start watching people watch AI playing video games.
And then Grok 4 will train on that. Grok 4 will watch us watching AIs playing video games.
Yep. By the way, how's the Hacker House thing going?
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm working on this thing right now, so.
Nice.
It's like, dude, they put the lunch up at like 6 a.m., dude. My freaking alarm goes off. I'm just like, ah, shit. Here it is. Like 4 hours of sleep. It's like, come on, man.
Nice. You been getting a lot of work done there?
Yeah, dude, the vibe is crazy. We do these cold plunges every morning. We chill in like this freezing cold water. The ice is pretty thick, actually. You have to break it using like a very like big stick. And you break it, and you go in and you chill in basically like -1, -2 degrees Celsius water, because it's seawater. for like 1 to 2 minutes, and then you feel freaking wired. It's way better than like caffeine pills. It's just like way better, and it doesn't mess with like your sleep or anything.
It's like some Wim Hof shit.
It is, yeah. I mean, I've tried something similar, except that like I tried to swim around in this body of water for quite a while, and then like I couldn't feel my fingertips anymore, and I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And then all of a sudden I couldn't feel my balls, and I was like, okay, actually no, that's important to me. I need that. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna dip. I was like, nope. That's where I draw the line. I draw the line at the balls. I don't want to lose that. That's important to me. But actually, it did a similar thing. I was like 2 weeks at a place, and we were like doing very amazing things.
Yeah, dude. Cool. Like, I don't know. Cold plunges are quite scary at first. Like, it puts you in shock. You step in and you're like gasping for air, and then
it feels like the water is attacking you. It's like the water is attacking you.
And you're like involuntary. You take like a huge breath. It's like just from the shock. You're like, ooh.
Oh yeah, it's even worse when you dip your head in. Don't do that as a first time.
No. Last time I was in Japan, I went to an onsen, and they had like a cold bath, and then they had like a hot one right next to it, so you can get up and go between the two. And then one of them was like salt water, and yeah, it was amazing to go back and forth between really hot and really cold.
Nice. So see, Elliot, you got a little bit of the lesson physically demonstrated for you. I mean, not physically, but like literally demonstrated for you when I always mention the sources. Dude, you got cooked hard, man. Fuck. Like that guy Brown. Like, I actually followed his YouTube channel for a very long time. So when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, you got a reply from that guy. That's amazing. But just the circumstances are not amazing.
Just for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that was a rough day. I learned a lot there.
Yeah. It's something like in hindsight you kind of laugh about because it is kind of funny. But Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh yeah, well my friends were bullying me that day. It's like, dude, like I know he replied like at all, but still, like, why did he reply? Like, I'd rather it not be that reason.
True. It's reputational risk, you know.
You're an embarrassment, bro.
Yeah,
if it's something somebody else posted,
he's one of my heroes, to be honest. Like, he's kind of up there with empathy and whatnot. His visualizations are stellar, and they help you a lot in terms of intuition, quote unquote, shape rotating, and I don't know, it's kind of heartbreaking to see that, you know, I neglected someone like this.
I'm just trying to become
anyways, back to Rock 3.
One day, but I have no support.
Right.
So if you have
Are you guys excited for voice? Do you guys use like GPT's voice mode a lot, or?
I actually didn't use it at all because it's weird. Like I feel like either talking to it is weird. Like I don't really understand that unless it's a